Welcome to Cubbypotamus, where I birth pots and share thoughts. Now, this week, I am not birthing pots, I am sharing old pots. Because I'm running out of room. I can't keep making more pots that I can't sell. And my fairs and online, it's just not working out at the moment, so I'll just show some of my greatest hits from before. Now today, this week, we are going to talk about the things that you miss between the lines, right? What exactly is that social sense that we lack, and what's that like? What's it like living with that, And it's kind of hard for me to explain because, I don't know what that sense is like, but I know what I'm missing. I know maybe the things that stop other people that don't stop me from doing things, right? And there's no feeling there that holds me back, right? It's like there's just gravity. And just this sense, this thing that makes sense to everyone around me that I just don't have. I went out last night, and I was by myself and everyone else was, talking and it's very busy. And I'm just kind of sitting on this little island. I'm very content, actually. Just kind of watching, being alone, and just thinking of, that sense that draws people together. This herding instinct. Whatever it is that makes people want to be around other people, right? And in proximity. And when they aren't, it's off or whatever, that's hard to go eat alone. I've heard. Right? And what is that that's stopping them, I don't know. What exactly that is, and there are just so many little things that I don't see that are socially communicated that aren't communicated to me. And I think it goes beyond just seeing cues because, I can learn these things, but it's not innate to me, right? Like stranger danger. I have a friend, she has a little boy, and she's like, just don't go up and hug strangers. And he's like, well, why not? Right? It goes back to the idea that, he's mind blind. He can't see things from their perspective, so he doesn't see how strange that would be, right? Or uncomfortable that might make them. Right? And he assumes that they know his intentions and know he's good, that kind of lack of suspicion. And similarly, I have no sense that says, well, just don't go talk to random children, right? There's nothing in my head that holds me back from that, right? And I think most people have a sense that it's like, okay, well, that's why you don't talk to strangers, right? We tell children not to talk to strangers is the stranger danger thing, and it's like there's no sense in my head of that. And I can learn to, of course, not do that, and I don't. But there's just nothing there. That's this whole sense that's just lacking. And I lack the sense for status, right? And the way that people fit together, right? In a hierarchy, that's just kind of absent to me. Have a sense for individual people, but not how they fit together. And this whole area of nonverbal communication It just isn't there, you know. And there are so many things that are socially communicated, right? All of those rules that you're just supposed to know, right? And I think that normal people just pick up on that, right? And they just get that. And I don't. You know, how you're supposed to act around people or things you're not supposed to do. What looks too comfortable, what's appropriate, what's not. What's quote unquote cringy? I don't get. What's too vulnerable, what's too much. Likewise. You know, I just don't get. And I think that's one of the beautiful things about autistic people is we talk about stuff that we're not supposed to, right? And that gives the opportunity for just amazing connection and conversation, right? Because it's so deeply personal, you know. And I have so many great conversations with people, you know, I think that get started by, oh, you're not supposed to say that to strangers kind of questions, you know. I just go deep. Right? And so if you're not supposed to, you know, say this or overshare and you don't have a sense of that, well, what else? Maybe you're missing shame. You know, I think that shame is oftentimes very much a socially communicated thing. That's definitely not written, whatever, most of the time. And people pick up attitudes, you know, about certain people, right? And they look to other people to, I guess, make up their mind, right? It's a good way to get information, to look around and see what people think and are like, their attitudes, and adjust and adopt to that. But I don't. And that may make my opinions kind of go outside the norm. I think that it's very interesting that strippers, right, are probably, autistic people are probably overrepresented in that job, maybe 20-fold, right? Just a couple percent of the population, but a very large percentage of them do that. You know, and, well, why is that? Well, that's the shame, right? The shame that holds a lot of people back doesn't hold us back. It can be some very free spirits, you know, because we just don't pick up the way that we're supposed to be. And not picking up those things can make you quite ostracized, right? Because those unwritten rules are deeply held, right? And people might not be able to identify them or articulate them, but it doesn't mean they don't feel them, right? They feel those rules, we don't. And that kind of puts you at odds. It makes you misunderstood. You know, and I don't think those rules are necessarily bad. You know, because they're a shortcut to information, right? And you can't process everyone individually, but, you know, if you make generalizations, that simplifies things and makes your world a little easier to navigate. But the problem is that, when it comes to people who aren't wired like that. It just makes it pretty rough, right? I think autistic people can be kind of free in that way. We can be very free. And it comes at a great cost. And to me, I guess it's just worth it. Makes you the odd one out, but what's really wrong with that? So, that was Cubby-Potamus, this week's edition. And, well, I guess I'll see you later.